Good morning. It's a little bit after 5 a.m. and I'm heading out here to the Grays and Torreys trailhead in Colorado. Grays and Torreys are two of the closest 14,000 foot peaks to Denver, so it's going to be super crowded, and I'm already leaving so late I'm not going to get a parking spot. But I brought my bike, so I'm going to park down by the freeway and bike the extra 6 miles and I think around 1,500 vertical feet. It's a beautiful morning. I'm excited to get out there. A little bit nervous of the crowds on Saturday here, but just gonna see it for myself instead of kind of having a preconceived notion of how bad the crowds are. And I'm excited to get up there. My plan is to do the Kelso Ridge route, which takes you, I think, to the top of Torreys and then go to Grays, so be able to hit 2 peaks in one day. I think the total mileage from the parking lot is 14 or 15 miles and about 5,000 vert or close to it. Like I said, 6 of those miles are on a bike and some of it's on a bike, but either way, should be a beautiful day and a great way to climb my first 14,000 foot peak here in Colorado. I'm excited to get out there. Well, I just made it to the trailhead here and it is an absolute zoo. Even the lower parking lot on the I-70 looks about full. I got a spot on the side of the road and gonna hop on the bike and start heading up, but definitely more people than I'm used to. I'm a little bit kind of nervous about the whole 14er thing because it seems like there's just so many people trying to do them, especially around the Denver area. And I think I'm kind of one of those people who definitely rather hike a 12 or 13 or 11,000 foot peak with less people. But at the same time, I see how addictive it can be to want to try to get like all these peaks over 14,000 feet. And I'm sure I will succumb to that after doing a few of these, and definitely will hike any of those that I can when I get the opportunity. But also I'm going to try to fit some more kind of quiet hikes in the mix as well, just because I think it's going to be hard to film with all the people. I'm not really good at filming in front of people, so we'll see how it all goes, but looking forward to getting on the trail, and I'm about to hop on the bike now. Well, I just made it past the trailhead. I'm on the official trail now. That was the most miserable bike ride of my life. That was the worst 3 miles due to the fact that it's straight up. And I was using my girlfriend's cruiser bike meant for being around the city, and that thing did not climb well. I wasn't gonna bring my brand new mountain bike out here and risk it sitting at the trailhead, but was able to make it up here okay, stash the bike. I'm looking forward to the bike on the way back for sure, but definitely was a little bit of a slog. I feel my quads. The road wasn't too bad. There's definitely some places to pull off, so in retrospect, I wish I would have driven up a little farther. I'm not one to enjoy a extra 6 miles of dirt road, so next time I definitely drive a little farther up, but really near the end, it was a little bit of a cluster. There's a lot of cars, probably 200 cars along the side of the road, which I read you're not supposed to do. And they're starting to ticket people, but it seems like no one really cared that much. So I think on the weekend, driving up isn't the worst. And also it looks like if you go a little bit past the trailhead, there's a few spots that if you have a high clearance rig look pretty nice. And there also is dispersed camping along the whole way. So definitely would be a cool place to come up and camp the night before. This has got to be one of the most beautiful alpine basins I've ever seen. And I like to think I've seen quite a few. Absolutely stunning up here. Definitely some crowds, but the trail is so wide and easy. Hasn't been an issue at all. My time in California's got me used to crowds, so honestly no impact once you're on the trail. I think it's just the parking situation getting here that was hard, but absolutely stunning. Excited Excited to get up higher. Getting the first really good view of Grays and Torreys here. Again, honestly one of the most stunning places I've ever seen for this to be so close to Denver. No wonder why it's crowded. I'll say that there's way more wildflowers here than I'm used to in the Idaho Rockies. Just definitely more precipitation, you can tell. And the flowers are just at their peak today. There's some new flowers for me too. I was like, knowing the flowers, so I'm gonna have to get the flower book at home and reference the new flowers for me, but absolutely stunning day. These peaks look beautiful, a little bit of snow still up there. Couldn't ask for a better July weekend. This is incredible. Just making the turn off to Kelso Ridge now. I was kind of debating it. It looks like there's a ton of people on the ridge. And I hate waiting on something that's really narrow, like being right behind people while you're scrambling on loose rock is never fun. So part of me wants to just kind of power up the main trail and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. But I don't think it's going to take that much difference in time. And I've decided to just go for it. I know I'll regret it otherwise, so I'm going to check out Kelso Ridge and hope the crowds aren't too bad. I'll let you guys know how it goes, but definitely looks like a really cool route. First little bit of climbing right here. So far the route's great, but you never know what to believe when you read things online. Just past my second group of climbers already heading back. I think when you put a trail on all trails and it's not just a normal walking trail, creates some issues, but leaves more of the ridge free for me. So far beautiful, good rock, really solid up here. Not as scree-like as I expected, and really cool ridge. You got views both ways. There's nothing like ascending a ridge to a peak. Happy as it gets right now. Really, really cool route. The views are phenomenal. Just cruising up here. It's honestly, there's a few little challenging sections you got to know how to route find, but so far nothing too challenging at all. And just keeps you on your toes, just interesting. I love scrambling. I think I grew up doing that everywhere, and so far this is more solid rock than I'm kind of used to in a lot of parts of Idaho, so I'm having a blast up here. Not too many people on the ridge line. I was worried about that, but the few people have been easy to pass, so everything's just going great so far. Excited to get up to the top here. Saw some mountain goats up real close. Like, doesn't get any better. I'm in heaven. Looks like my GoPro freaked out, had to reformat everything, so I lost some footage, but that's all right. Absolutely stunning here. Put on my helmet because I was sick of carrying it around, having it flop around on my back. Nothing so far has warranted it, but I guess one slip. Rather have my helmet on, protect the brain. But what a cool route up here. You just have so many more views when you can look both directions. These views are all right. You can see mountain goats in the distance. All of the kind of next range of mountains beyond me. You can see all the way down to Long's Peak down to the south. great to kind of see the state just recently moved to, you know? Been so excited for this move to get back into the mountains, and never having explored the Colorado Rockies much, just having been more in Idaho, California, Oregon, Washington. Just amazing to see them in person, you know? There's nothing like seeing the mountain range from the top of one of the highest peaks for the first time, and definitely is a lot to explore out here, so expect a ton more videos. Unfortunately, I have a crazy busy summer, but every weekend I'm not traveling or doing something, I'll be out here, so looking forward to it. If anyone has any recommendations for hikes or anything, let me know. Oh God, Pika! Ran right past me, a little guy. Here's some nice ridge walking. Right below the summit now. My quads have never cramped this bad. I can barely move them. But here we have this famous knife ridge coming up. I'm gonna get a few electrolytes in me, see if those help. Otherwise I'm gonna be seizing up and falling off the side here soon. Well, I'm here at the knife ridge. Doesn't look too bad at all. Right below the summit. Got some feeling back in my legs, so hopefully that seize up and me toppling doesn't happen. And if it does, we got some freshies in there, so I'll just shred it on out. I think so. There's the knife edge right there. A little anticlimactic. I think it's like 3 steps. But also, like, there is exposure without a doubt. And just gives you a little excitement. So, thought it was going to be longer. A little more scary. But that is good. I don't need to be scared. I need to survive up here.
No, he's just exploring.
Well, made it to the top here. More crowded than I ever could have expected. Most crowded summit I've seen, but there's some good camaraderie up here, you know? Some summit beers, and I think it's going to be too crowded for here to film. Really glad I came up the Kelso Ridge. Otherwise, it would have been a little crazy, and going to have some summit lunch and head on down.
Yeah, with his son. Yes, like flip-flops on. Yeah.
Well, just came down to the saddle from Torreys, and I've decided to skip grays today. There's just so many people on the trail up. It'll be slow going, and I want to come back and do it in its own trip. Maybe I'll do it for sunrise. Maybe I'll bring the fiance. We'll make its own expedition out of it. Get back, have a beer. Like I said, I'm going to be gone for a few weeks coming up, so gonna go into town, hang out, go into Golden and stuff. But Torreys was phenomenal, like as good as views get. Definitely crowded, but on a Saturday in July, what is it, like 15th or so, it's gonna be crowded, but it never really took away from the experience. There's a lot of fun up there. And I guess the other thing I'll say is I made it up in 2 hours, up that Kelso Ridge. I don't know if that's quick, but usually I tend to go fast, so I think I'll be back in the car here pretty soon. I'm gonna try to run down. Made it back to the trailhead here. It's around like 11:30. Ran half of the way down, met a super nice guy. Talked about some of the other hikes in this area and some skiing and stuff, so that was cool. Got some local knowledge, but overall, like I said this morning, I was a little nervous about the whole 14er big crowds, but it was crowded as it gets up here, I'm sure. July on a Saturday, but it was just so stunning. I didn't mind it at all. Everyone was super nice, like just incredible hike. Gorgeous, so close to Denver. It's crowded for a reason, and I love the Kelso Ridge. I think that's the only way I'd go up, because you avoid all the crowds until the way down. And I'm excited to come back and do grays. Torreys was great, but I do have a golden date that I need to catch, so. I know I said I was done filming, but I gotta document this valiant bike ride with this trusty steed. Must have been the roughest ride I've ever done in my life. I passed about 30 cars though, so I got my last laugh on all the cars that were passing me on the way up. Mountain bike would have been better, but I'm glad I had it at the end. My hands are completely numb from the shaking of the road, but made it back to the car. Beautiful day.